Hi, this is Joel Persinger. I'm the Gun Guy. Thank you very much for watching Gun Guy TV and supporting me the way you do. I really do appreciate it. Listen, I've got an opinion today on an event that happened in Edmond, Oklahoma that may rile you up. And then again, maybe not. I don't know. We'll try it and we'll see what happens. Apparently, an open carry advocate in Oklahoma decided to put on a little Second Amendment audit, as he describes it. I'm going to show you the video real quick, and then I'm going to give you my point of view. Now, it's a real long video, but I'm only going to show you a small portion of it because a lot of it is just the officers talking to the guy at the end, and I don't want to waste your time. So take a quick look at it, and then I'll share with you my points of view, and you can tell me what you think.
My license is displayed by my pistol.
Okay.
The
That's fine.
the
Just keep your hands up. I'm gonna wait till I get some more units up here.
the shouldered weapon here is a pistol.
Okay.
So
At this point, the officer, who has no idea what he's just walked up on, appropriately has his rifle pointed at the gentleman who's open carrying.
Well, we get a call about a rifle, so
Yep.
obviously that's not an open carry ability.
yep, a rifle is not, but a pistol is, and this is a
That
pistol.
is correct, but I don't have any. I got to confirm that.
You got to confirm it. Yes.
As the video continues, see how many officers showed up. I counted 5. I'm interested to know what your number is.
So
All
you
right,
will.
Are you videotaping and doing
Yes.
this just to see what type of rise you get out of people when they call?
Yeah, this is a Second Amendment audit. We're going to see if you guys respect the Second Amendment and how you respond to someone carrying a pistol.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you causing panic. Can you turn around?
Yes.
Thank you.
So it's got less than a 16-inch barrel. It's got the
Go ahead and take that off of him.
okay. Right here is my permit, which I'll flip it
The
around.
other units can slow down. It's just a guy practicing his Second Amendment.
31 clear by gun and mechanical release the RNA. Head is clear, release in the air.
How you doing, sir?
Good.
Now, I'd like you to pay particular attention to an officer who's about to come into view. He's going to come into view as the camera pans to the left. He's going to take a deep breath. Now, that is an indication of how much adrenaline is running through that officer's body. I think it's important for citizens to understand that when officers get a call like this, they're amped up to the max because they're expecting to walk into a gunfight. It's terrifying, it's exciting, it's all those things at the same time. And so these officers are showing up full of adrenaline, amped up, ready to go because they think they're walking into something violent. And then all of a sudden they're just dealing with you. You're shooting a video for your YouTube channel. It takes a lot of restraint for these officers to back off the way they did and not end up shooting the guy.
So explain to me what rifle that is.
It's a pistol.
Uh-huh.
It has got less than a 16-inch barrel, and with the brace, it is classified as a pistol.
It is classified as a pistol.
Yes,
what
it
kind
is.
is it?
CMMG.
A CMMG?
Yep. 9mm.
You understand what that looks like?
I understand exactly what some people that don't know it could look like or from a distance.
Okay.
But you know, after November 1st, you're going to get a lot of that.
Well,
And we
not
want to.
with- not with rifles, but
Yeah,
So
rifle.
do you have a federal tax stamp?
No, there's no need for a federal tax
There's
stamp.
no need.
No, sir.
Because
That
it's a
the,
16-inch.
it-
Less than a 16-inch
it
pistol.
is with the brace that hooks to your arm. That is what classifies it as a pistol.
You guys have a phone on? Let's do some Googling.
Weather's not showing anything on TV. I'm watching the Weather Channel radar, and it's showing it's not supposed to hit until after, just after 2.
So what's your reason for coming out here to do this in the park with tons of kids playing baseball?
Just
and
look at this. See.
it doesn't make sense to me. I'm just asking you.
Yeah, it's part of it's an education deal. Such as you guys don't know that that's a pistol or rifle. You're having to check it out right
Yeah,
now.
that looks like a rifle to me.
It looks like one.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
In Tulsa, where we've been doing it, we've got it to the point where when people call in, the officers just drive by and they know who we are, and we're on our way. They don't even make contact.
Why?
It's a Second Amendment audit.
If it's the barrel's short and length.
And with the foregrip, that makes it a pistol. So
With the
yeah, with the grip, the special grip that it has on there.
This one?
Yeah, no, the one that would be at the farthest up highest, the butt stock. What would call a butt stock, that makes it a pistol with the shortened barrel.
Okay.
So if you had a butt stock like yours on there, without the strap, that would make it a rifle. So with the butt stock that I have it on it there, it is designed to be held with one hand.
Oh, because you put it.
Yes. And that makes it a pistol. So we've been through this in Tulsa, and we're making it around to the major cities.
So why don't you do something better instead of showing up at the park with something that looks like a rifle? Do a YouTube educational vehicle and a video and get a lot of people to do it. Go to the news and say, hey, this is a pistol, not a rifle, instead of causing hysteria at a park.
That's what
where
we're hoping to
children
do,
are.
hoping to educate people
And-
through our videos.
You know, like I understand, like you got a Second Amendment, but you got to understand when we get a pistol at a park or rifle call, we start running code. So now, because of your wanting to do a Second Amendment audit, you put all these other people at risk for us running code to get here.
Well, that's where we're going to try to slow y'all down next time as it happens over and over.
Anytime a civilian doesn't know this and they're calling in a rifle at a park, not for us, we realize that, hey, it might be, or call us, hey, I'm going to be at the park walking around with my rifle, or my pistol that looks like a rifle, just to give you a heads up.
Yeah, we could do that in the future.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
so let's work with each other so this way we're not doing that, and maybe I'll come up at you a little differently than pointing a rifle at you, right?
I understand,
So
yeah.
this way we have mutual respect, because we're getting shot at like crazy by people we don't know who they are.
Yeah, I understand. I'm
know.
not going to shoot at anyone. I'm going to carry
I
it
know,
lawfully.
But the deal is you make a sudden movement for this, you're probably going to get shot. And I understand you got a GoPro on and that phone right there, but that doesn't show what your hands are doing.
Exactly.
So
I
that's going
understand.
to get you shot, potentially because you got this on. You know, I want to work with you. So, and I appreciate you completely complied with all of our commands when I gave them to you. You put your hands up to prevent that from happening.
Okay, so here's a few things I want to share with you that some of which you may agree with and some of which not. I don't know, but I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. First of all, I think law enforcement needs to do a better job of educating its officers. It is ridiculous that out of 5 officers, not one of them knew the difference between an AR rifle and an AR pistol. That subject has been out there for a very, very long time, and it is silly that the police department didn't know about that, and nobody knew about it apparently on shift. We'll talk about that here in just a second. Now, having said that, this is not an excuse, it's just a fact of life. Many departments simply don't have the budget to educate their officers to the degree we would like them to. There is a solution to that, I think, potentially, but nevertheless, it's something we have to understand, that just like a business, a police department only has so much money, and it has to assign that money to where the greatest needs are and prioritize the spending. When it comes to training, if they want to train officers, they have to pay them to be there. And if they're paying officers to be there during their shift, they have to pay someone overtime to go and fill that spot that officer is not filling because they're off shift training. Additionally, they have to pay the person who's doing the training. They have to have a location in which to do it. I mean, there's lots of costs associated with providing training. And so sometimes training can be forward thinking. In other words, they can try to cover subjects ahead of time so that officers don't stumble on stuff they don't know. Or they can also be a catch-up type training. Officers are finding this in the street a lot and they really don't know as much about it as they ought to. So let's catch them up and train on that particular point of the law or that particular issue so that in future when officers stumble on that, then they'll actually address that in a more professional way or perhaps in a legal way. And this might be one of those. They show up thinking a guy's got a rifle. They find out he doesn't. That's a training issue within the department. Then maybe there's money spent on that. However, one way to help a small department like that learn is for the local Second Amendment advocacy group to go over there and say, hey, guys, we'd like to provide you with some training material or some educational material for your officers on this subject, because otherwise they're going to stumble on it and think that they've got one thing when they've got another and somebody could get hurt. That might be a way to address that. And that is indeed one of the things that an officer brought up later on in the video. All right, now on the other side is the guy who goes out and walks through the park without notifying law enforcement he's doing it, carrying an AR pistol, which arguably the vast majority of the citizenry would think is a rifle. They just are. It looks like a rifle at a distance, and frankly, the vast majority of the citizenry is not educated on these little nuanced things and are not going to know a rifle from a pistol when it comes to ARs. They're going to think it's a rifle. So they're going to call law enforcement. Officers are going to roll out thinking they've got a potential active shooter. They're going to be all amped up and full of adrenaline and ready to figuring they're walking into a gunfight. And there's a very good chance that the person who's doing the demonstrating or the Second Amendment audit is likely to get shot, in which case you've got a tragedy on your hands. You've got a law-abiding citizen who's been shot for no reason, and you've got officers who now know they've shot a law-abiding citizen for no reason. In both cases, that's a tragedy. So this is something I think that can be avoided by taking a different direction and doing this stuff. All right, likewise, you've now got a small town. Edmond, Oklahoma, apparently has about 90-some-odd thousand people in it. That's a smaller city. It's not huge, which means their police department is going to be smaller. They might have 100 officers total in the entire police department, as opposed to a big city like Los Angeles or San Diego. I mean, you've got a very small police department, and as a result, at any given time, you might have 5 or 6 officers on patrol on any given shift. That's not very many. In the town in which I live, I think we have 105 or 110,000 population, and I can tell you for a fact that there are, on average, 6 officers on patrol at any given time. Now, you watch this video, how many officers showed up? 5 that I counted, including the shift sergeant, by the way, which means it's probably all 5 officers who were on patrol at that time. Why? Because they got a call of a guy walking around with an AR-15. They are concerned about active shooter situations, although they don't happen a lot. They do happen, and when they happen, they're tragic. So all of them, lights and sirens, priority 1 call, roll up to go talk to this guy for his Second Amendment audit. Meanwhile, somewhere in the city, a woman is being raped, or a liquor store is being robbed, or a home is experiencing a burglary while the people are at home, a home invasion, or someone is being beaten to a pulp on the street, or whatever the case might be. However many high-priority calls are happening at that moment in that city, those officers cannot respond to now because they responded to this guy's Second Amendment audit. That's the reality of how it works. So when we walk out and do these kinds of things and we pull law enforcement off of things they need to be doing so that they can come deal with us because we want to be the educator of law enforcement and we want to get their attention, or because we want to be famous on YouTube or whatever, we do our city, our town, a lot of harm. We pull law enforcement assets away from the things they ought to be doing and would prefer to be doing. If you ask any of those cops what they would rather be doing, it would be dealing with criminals, not have to deal with this guy and figure him out. He wasted a lot of law enforcement's time and a lot of law enforcement's energy and resources at that moment among officers who were on patrol at the time. There's a better way. There's got to be a better way. So that just doesn't work. Now, I should have said at the beginning that I fully support this guy's right to carry his AR pistol. I'm of the opinion that the Second Amendment, which says that the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, essentially means we should be able to carry our rifle or our handgun or whatever firearm we wish to carry anywhere we want to carry it as law-abiding Americans. That is our right. It is a right that is a natural right guaranteed by the Constitution, and it should not be infringed. It shall not be infringed, which means this guy, as far as I'm concerned, the Second Amendment is his permit. He should not need one to carry a firearm, concealed or openly or any other way, and any firearm that he wishes. That's my opinion. If you disagree with that, let me know. At the same time, the things that we can do in some situations are not necessarily wise or beneficial to do. And doing that the way he's doing it is neither, in my opinion, wise nor beneficial. It's harmful to the society. It's potentially physically harmful to him. It's harmful to the law enforcement officers he's trying to educate. It does not help anyone. And so I find these kinds of things to be terribly harmful, frankly, to Second Amendment folks, because also what ends up happening is this guy's going to continue doing this enough that it may be that the Oklahoma legislature looks at this and the waste of law enforcement's time and the potential dangers to the people around this guy. Remember, sometimes cops, when they shoot at somebody, they miss. Now he's in a park and they shoot at the guy and they miss him with a couple of rounds and it hits some poor person sitting out there with their kids in the park. That's a danger to the public as well. And the legislatures look at that and they say, okay, well, no, we're gonna take open carry off the plate now. We've got it. We had it as Second Amendment advocates in Oklahoma, and all of a sudden it gets removed because of people doing this kind of nonsensical stuff. So here's my point. If you want to educate your local law enforcement, I would say there's a better way to do it. Get together with your local Second Amendment advocacy group. If you want to hold an event where people are carrying their AR pistols, let law enforcement know about it ahead of time. Let them know it's going to happen. Let them know what you're trying to do. And then when officers have a moment, they can come on by. They can look at the difference between the different kinds of guns so that they know when they see one what it is. Now, that takes a little bit more energy. I get it. And it takes a little bit more organization. But it's going to be a lot better received by your local law enforcement agency than just walking through the park and ringing their bell and having them all come out at once on a priority call and avoid everything else they ought to be doing someplace else. But there you go. There's my opinion. If you disagree with me, it's fine. Let me know in the comments. The thing I would share with you is that I don't allow swear words in the comments because it's a family-oriented channel. So if you disagree, that's fine. Keep the insults and the swear words out of it, and your comment will actually show up. Don't mind my phone. So please do let me know what your thoughts are. In the meantime, wherever you go, whatever you do, please be safe.